consider doing airsoft and this and that. So I had to make a conscious decision whether I was going to do it or not. And then October I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And so in October I started building this. And this will be specific airsoft right here, all right? So by the time end of October, everything ground was freezing, and because what I do is I drill all the holes by hand and then I tamp them in and then put up the boards and stuff. So by that time it was already frozen. So I had to stop working on this and then start working on the bush field. In the back here, this whole back corner, I've never used it for 30 years. So all the stuff that you guys will be playing on, basically it'll be virgin bush, all right? So this town, like I say, it's not finished yet. This will be basically, what I would like to try to do is, this will be your staging area in here. So you'll be able to drive your trucks, park in here. And eventually what I'll have to do it quickly as possible as soon as I get some thaw. Like these posts here, I have to put like 10 feet. I'll probably try to board it all the way up, all the way down, right? And then you'll park on this side, all right? And then this will be your playing field on this side over here. And then we'll get some feedback today. I sort of listened to the forums of what guys were wanting. Sort of like you'd read it and sort of like, well, we go to a paintball field, we got paint on the buildings all the time. Or we're kicked off the fields because, paintball gets the priority over us and all that kind of stuff. So what I've tried to think to do is like, okay, let's make it an airsoft specific field, have your own town here, and then no paint on the buildings, I won't allow any paintball guys on here, all right? And then you're not kicked off, so you got a game, it's your game, no one's going to come in here, well, we want to get on there, let's say, other than other airsofters, of course, but you will have your own dedicated areas. Obviously, if you want, if it's busy or not busy, or you want to use those other areas, you're welcome to use the other town there. And I got another town a half-mile away over there that we use. And basically, it's like a big circle. So we have our parking lot over there. It's almost like a big circle all the way around. All right. So this will be sort of your town area, and then we'll get feedback from guys. Like obviously, I want to put another wall here, building here yet, another one here. And looked on the forums, and guys said, well, a lot of paintball fields are just like buildings and all, no, they're just in random order, all right? So like on this, if you look down here, eventually we'll have a row of buildings all the way down, all right, with windows and all that kind of stuff. Got a center building there, and it's sort of like building all the way around. So, and then I'll add a couple of vehicles, older trucks into here and stuff like that, so it breaks up the laneways for shooting so that you get from, from one side of the street basically to the other side. So it's not finished yet, all right? It's just, like I said, I started in October, and so there's lots of work to do. And then you never know how far to put the buildings or how big to make them, how high to put the windows or low, how big or where to put the windows. So I put a few windows and stuff, like on this here row here. I don't know whether I'm going to cut windows on these sides or so where the doorways are, or we just leave them covered up. And that's why as you play a few times, you'll give me feedback. Well, maybe we should have a window here, and then like on that back side, I'll put a snake pit, and we'll make a big long snake, sort of a high fence on both sides, divide both towns, and then you can get from that end of the field to this end to a snake corridor. All right. And you notice in the shop I have that 6-foot fence, metal fence. So I'll put that on both sides, and then cover it up on one side, bunker it up in between. So got a lot of different ideas I want to put into there yet. All right. Right over there is sort of a bridgeway, because the problem with this field is so flat. It's nice and grows really nice. It's with peat moss, but it's a little flat in the springtime and water sits. So I'm going to have to do a little ditchway. I'll build a little bridge over there so you can get across. And then over through here you can see you get some little willows and stuff. So now it doesn't look like much, but in the summertime when those willows green up, it's pretty intense. And I'm cutting little laneways in there so that you can go down those laneways, but you got to have your head about you, and the grass grows nice and high so you can walk on someone. All right. And then it goes up into this whole field here is what we call the Coronado Sandhills. So you get sand hills, comes down into peat moss, and on the sand hills you get the jack pine. All right, and there's no undercover, so it's just all jack pine, needle, nothing grows, so it's, you know, just nice and lush, no, you know, no undergrowth. Then you'll come, then you get into the willows, and it's very thick, and then muskeg spruce, again, very thick, and lots of, you know, well, I have to bunker it up a lot this summer, because as you can see in the willows, I'm slowly working on this side. You'll notice some trails and lots of bunkers. On the back side there, you'll have the hill a little bit with the jack pine, and then in the back corner will be a really nice area again with lots of old spruce and stuff, and it'll just take me time to, you know, bunker it up, clean it so it's, you know, pathways in there and stuff. So you'll have a fairly large area, like it'll go all the way back there, back in through and behind over here. All right, so we'll just give you a sort of a taste of it today, and then as summer comes along, it's, you know, it'll be a little better to play on and stuff. So just have to be careful today, especially, well, just below the hill there in the sort of in that muskeg spruce. A lot of them fall, so I haven't had time, you know, like I said, I really haven't cleaned it up. You're walking through that deep snow, underneath that snow are fallen trees. All right, so you have to be careful in that respect. Okay, guys. Like I say, eventually we'll board this all up. Now, what I did for like these player sheds, these eventually, like, you'll have a player shed. Well, we'll put it over there, something like that. We'll get feedback on you guys. If you want to go inside, I put 2 layers of netting on here. Go inside there. Another one in that shed over there. You can also go into, you'll see there's that one there has like a little tack room. You can go inside of that. The door opens on both sides. You can close it if you like. All right. Eventually, what I like to do, like I mentioned earlier, I'll have some chairs and stuff that you guys for staging. You put them together and put your name on it. Tell the guy to get out of it. So I got, you know, those Adirondack chairs you get in Costco, the wooden ones. Put them together. So if you put it together for me, I'll buy them. You just put it together.
Fair enough.
You want to just grave your name on there and say, hey, I put that together. Get out of my chair. Yeah. Right? We'll sit on the ground. So, all right. So we'll get started, guys. Any questions? Like, you know, anything? But so we'll play a couple games here, and obviously, you know, some of the buildings aren't quite finished, like the center one here and stuff like that. But that's what I want you out here. We'll get a bit of feedback, okay? Because I'm here to listen to what you guys got to say, so that I can build it, and, you know, work on it throughout the summer and stuff. All right, like I've got the base, but to expand it, and obviously, what I'm thinking, sometimes I'll put a different boundary on here, and we'll put a couple extra those 3 trees there, I call the 3 amigos. All right, we'll call that one back one there the Lone Ranger. All right. So that we have some reference points. It's a good idea to have reference points, so we'll call these 3 trees the 3 amigos, the one back there, the Lone Ranger. So in between in the back side there, eventually we'll add some buildings back in the back there, all right? It's sort of like a small little shrub, but in the summertime I'll clear it all out. We'll add some buildings there. And if you're playing in the back corner way back there, we'll add a few extra buildings back there, so that, you know, not only in the bush, but you get some buildings also. All right, and it just takes time to develop it. Also in the buildings here, what I like to do is eventually we'll try to name all of the buildings. Like the one there, I'll just have it the Cobra building, and then we'll have the Imperial building, all right, or else we'll have Scooter's gun shack someplace. So if we put a name up there, get the sort of Airsoft specific, you know, banners up onto the buildings. Nothing worse than going to a building and saying, well, he's in the far end building. Which building are you talking? The far right one? So if we have names to the buildings and stuff, then we can recognize the buildings, and you call them out where he's at. All right. So if we have it in the, you know, the Imperial House, you know what it is, right? And they'll have their banner up on there and stuff like that. Okay. That's the other plan I want to have in some of the buildings. You know, if we have a Red Wolf banner up on there. You call it the Red Wolf Building or whatever you like to do.
Building.
What's that?
The dog.
The dog house.
Building. All right, you gotta see
Dog
the building.
house, there you
The
go.
Russian house someplace here, right? Yeah. The Russian Legion. Having your vodka house or whatever, right?
The dog pound, yeah.
So we'll have the Russian vodka house someplace there.
Yeah, I'm there all the time then.
So guys, this is your chance to have input on an airsoft field. Unlike a lot of the fields we have, Lyle's willing to put in a lot of time, money, and effort into his fields. He did this in a couple months, which most fields don't have this after being open for a lot of years. So this is your chance to give Lyle feedback. He'll take it, and he'll continue building this field for you guys.
Yeah. I'd be willing to bet that if you ask, we'll help you build it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and all it is you know, the size of the buildings, and like I say, when you're building, it always says build it. It seems easy, but then you're thinking, well, how wide am I going to make these, or the doorways? Or, if you want doorways on here, we'd rather doors. We can put, I can get the stuff they put down for roadways, Nilex. You know, you can put Nilex there, cut it up the middle, like a little flap, go inside of them, like, you know, here.
Yeah.
So that it's not just going straight in if you want on one side of the buildings, you know, sort of like that. There's a lot of things that do. Rather than doors, you just put a, you know, the sheet of Nilex, you know, for doorways, or if you want them open, like, you know, just let me know what you need, and we'll get it done. And it makes it better. So I'd like to have a good feel for you guys playing. So.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's play
now we'll get playing. So